makes me so it just takes me to another place
Uh-huh.
in my imagination. When
Mhm.
I'm listening to like a story or reading it, I can always imagine myself inside the story and
Mhm.
all the main characters talking to each other, and then I'm there to witness everything by myself.
Right. So it started with your dad inspiring you, right, to become good at English. So talking about your parents, your dad, why did your dad feel that it's important to be good at English? I mean, you grew up in Denmark, so they speak Danish, but he wanted you to speak English. Why does your dad think English is important for you?
Not only my dad who wants me to speak English, but both of my parents.
Hmm.
They want me to speak English because it's the most widely spoken language in the world,
Right.
and I feel like it's ideal for getting into good colleges, universities, or even getting a scholarship or getting into a good school. So I think it's very important if you want to get a good job and have a good life.
There you go. If you want to get a good job and have a good life, you need to speak English. And if you don't believe me, then believe Bai. He's only 11, but he understands the importance of English already. So I heard that you're learning your third language as well. Tell us about that.
I'm starting to learn German right now, and the reason I chose German was because um, I researched a bit and I found out that Germany is a very good country to live in, to work in, to study in, and basically do whatever you want. I think that it's a very great country, and I think that the language is an important key to live there because I can understand the people more fluently and I can also communicate with them without having to speak English if they don't know how to speak English.
Hmm. So who influenced you to speak German? I mean, okay, you did some research that it was a good country to live and to study. And did anyone influence you that, hey, German is a good country to live in and to study in?
Well, nobody actually influenced me to live in Germany or get a job there, but basically I just did some research and I think it's a very good country because I've been to Germany once and then I saw the cities, the countryside, and they're very clean. And I heard that the universities are great too, so I think it's just an overall great place to live in.
How did your parents feel when you wanted to learn German? Were they very supportive and helped you in trying to learn German?
Yes, my parents were very supportive of me trying to learn German because they know that a third language would benefit me a lot, and they know that I want to be an ambassador. So I think that they're very supportive of me, and they've actually always been supportive of me no matter what. No matter if like it's something, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, and they always tell me
Hmm.
great advice about the things that I should do
Right.
and the things that I should learn and
Hmm.
how I should behave overall.
Right. And you're learning a third language. There's no down points to it at all. There's
No,
only upsides. So I bet your parents were really supportive. And just then you said you wanted to be an ambassador.
yes.
Tell us about that.
I want to be an ambassador because I mainly want to help people who are in that country. I want to be a Thai ambassador in Germany so I can help Thai people there if they have any problems.
Right. So you want to be a Thai ambassador in Germany, right?
Yes.
Mm. At only 11, you already know what you want to do. And have you told your parents that yet?
Yeah, they already know that I want to be an ambassador.
How do they feel?
They said that it's a great job because they said that I have like kind of a talent in learning languages and communicating with people.
Mm. If you had a chance to learn a fourth language, what would it be and why that language?
I would probably choose Spanish because I have friends who are from Spain, and I just like the language. And I've also been to Spain once, and it's also a great country. So if I don't get the chance to do something in Germany, I can always turn to Spain if I know that language.
Did you know that Spain is the third most popular language behind English and Mandarin? Wow. So you'll be able to travel all around the world, go anywhere you like as well.
Yes.
Hmm. And talking about some of your achievements now, could you tell us what you have achieved so far?
Um, Overall, I have achieved a scholarship to Japan for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
I got third place competition 2015,
Mhm.
and I also got first place in KPN piano competition.
Wow. So many awards. And tell us about the English competition. What did you have to do in that competition?
In that competition, overall there were 700 students from all around the country who were
Right.
participating in it.
Mhm.
The first round is you're doing like a thick test with overall doing grammar, correcting, proofreading stuff, and you had to circle the answer. It was mainly multiple choice.
Right.
And then after that, there was a computer that checked all of the papers, and then it went into the top 10.
Mhm.
The top 10. I got ninth in the top 10.
Wow.
And
ฝากคิวให้
after
โทษที
that,
ว่าพี่
there
คิว
was
เด็ก
an essay round.
Mhm.
You had to write a 200-word essay.
Mhm.
And I think that the essay actually saved me because in the speech, there was also a speech round after that.
Right.
I didn't do that well on the speech because they just gave you the topic right there, and then you had only 5 minutes to think what to say.
So what essay did you write about, and what was the speech topic on?
In the essay, we had to write 3 things we couldn't live without.
What were those 3 things?
My parents, school, and Thailand.
Wow. Awesome. That's really cool. If your parents were listening to this, they would be so happy. Me, it would probably be money, money, and money, and I couldn't live without. What about the speech?
The speech, it was about the most important person in my life.
Who is?
Well,
Let me guess. Your parents?
I said my dad, but mainly because I was nervous. Because I didn't know what to say overall.
Can you tell us why? Okay, let's say the topic is your parents. Why can't you live without your parents? Referring to either your mom or your dad or both.
I can't live without my parents because they've always been so supportive of me. And they've always cared for me. And if I have any problems, they always talk to me. And they always have the time and the money to do something. And they also take me to a lot of cool places. And whenever I want something, I can just ask them, and then they'll give it to me if they know that I deserve it.
And I bet that your parents can't live without you either.
Yes.
So we know that you not only are good at 3 languages, you're also good at piano as well.
Yes.
Why did you decide to learn piano, and who influenced you?
I started learning piano when I was 5 years old. I think.
Mhm.
5 years old. No, 7 years old. Sorry.
Right.
I was inspired to learn the piano because I heard the song, and then, I heard there was someone playing an instrument, and I didn't know what that instrument was, and I really wanted to play it because it just sounded so awesome. So I asked my parents, and then they brought me to a teacher, a piano teacher, and then he started giving me lessons.
Mhm. And your teacher must be so proud because you won as well, the KPN award.
Yes, I started learning piano when I was in Denmark,
Mm.
and I had a teacher there. But now that I'm back in Thailand
Mhm.
since 3 years ago,
Mhm.
I have another teacher.
Right.
And, yeah, he also knows my accomplishments.
Amazing. Must be so great. Everyone must be so proud of you. Even I just know you now. I'm even proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you had a chance to learn a second musical instrument, what would it be and why?
If I had the chance to learn a second instrument, it would probably be something like a woodwind instrument.
What is that?
It's like the flute, the clarinet, or something
Oh,
like that.
wow. That's pretty awesome. So these books are here for a reason because these are the books that this young man, Nong Pai, at only 11 have read. So tell us about your books, please.
These are the books. It's actually only one book, but there are many more in the series.
Mhm.
It's the Captain Underpants series.
Let's have a look at that. So this was your first series book, right?
Yes, this was my first series book, and actually my first book that I started reading. Not
Mhm.
this one, but it's in the same series.
Right. So why did you start with this book?
I started with this book because when I get a book, I always see the front cover if there are any see funny illustrations or attractions, and then I look at the back, which is always the summary.
Right.
And then I open the book. And then I see it.
Let's have a look inside here. So this is the inside of the book, right?
Yes, it's mainly like a comic. So this was the book that I started reading when like I was growing up in Denmark.
How old were you when you started reading this book?
I started reading this book when I was like 6.5 years old.
Wow. And now, tell us your development. From this one,
yes.
how did it develop?
From this one, you can see that there are basically pictures on every single page.
Mm-hmm.
Then that developed into these books, which had less pictures and were a bit longer.
This
and
one, right?
then had some expanded vocabulary
Mm-hmm.
that you need to develop to actually understand.
And then,
Then-
after these books,
After these books, it developed into these thick books, which have no pictures and are only words on the whole page.
wow. There are a lot of people who are a lot older than you and can't even read books that are like, for example, excuse me, this thick. If you take a close look, they are so thick. They're about 100 pages. There are a lot of people who cannot read books like these. At
About
their age.
800 or 1,000 pages.
800 or 1,000 pages, and you did it at only 11 years old. Why do you love reading so much? And these aren't ordinary books. There are, books for old people and books for adults. But you managed to read it.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about it. Why do you love reading so much?
I love these type of books because the authors are really popular and they just try to bring me into the actual story.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like I'm just a ghost. So if they're in like a castle and then they're talking about attacking an enemy base, I can just be there like a ghost who's witnessing everything. And then I can witness it from both sides, so I can imagine what will happen next. And I can also predict what will happen. And I am also very shocked like when main character dies because like it's all just so sudden.
Right. So these books that you read, they're novels, right?
Yes, they're novels.
And how long does it take you to read a book that has like 800 to 1,000 pages?
This book it took me about a month and another half of a month.
Wow. A month to read a book this thick. Are you serious? This is amazing. Wow. So a month just to read this book.
Yes.
That is absolutely amazing. And do you have another book in mind in the future that you really want to read? Maybe Harry Potter or something?
I'm not really into those mythical books,
Right.
but I like books that involve like knights, castles, and all those medieval stuff. But I don't really like the books that involve magic or wars.
Witchcraft,
Yeah,
something like that.
witchcraft. I don't like them because I feel like they're just like too much.
Mhm.
Because like these could have actually happened in the past.
Right.
Because it seems like it's so medieval, but like for like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, it just seems like too unrealistic.
Right. Well, everyone has their likes and differences all the time. And just before we go, because we're almost out of time, but this is a really important question. For all the Thai kids watching this TV program right now, give them some motivation and some tips to be good at English like you. Go for it.
If you want to be good at English, you need to read a lot of books, and you should also start trying to get